Hello, beautiful people. How are you? Good. Before I get started, I want to do a little exercise that I like to do. And anytime I'm in front of a group of people, it just helps us to kind of warm up and become friends. So I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, I love you. You're beautiful. And you belong here. See, it worked, right? So I want you to turn to yourself. Turn to yourself and say, self. Damn, you sexy. I love you. I belong here. Cool. Didn't that feel nice? Yay! So thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited to share this project with you. It's something that I've been working on for a few years now, and it's just so exciting to be able to bring it to new folks. So when I started my entrepreneurial journey, it was purely by accident. I found something that I enjoyed to do, and I pursued it obsessively. The same with the solidarity cards. Once I started collecting these cards, I became obsessive about it. I would bring them with me everywhere I went. I would go to community talks, city council meetings. I would bring them with me to festivals and talk to clients about it, get their responses. And I found that people were really open to just sharing. They were very transparent with me for whatever reason, and they were just eager to put their thoughts on paper. And so when I read the cards, it almost feels like someone is sharing a secret with me. Like, hold on. Okay, all right, there you go. It feels like, I might be reading something that they don't always get to express openly. It feels like sometimes I'm reminded of it when we're like maybe in a room and someone is saying something about you in the next room and you weren't supposed to hear it. It's a truth that's being exposed, right? Sometimes it might be really pleasant, sometimes it might be unpleasant, right? It's a truth, right? Truth sometimes can be very uncomfortable. And so I feel like it's just creating a space for us to just express ourselves. And I find that a lot of these topics hit on race, social justice causes, global issues, things that are happening around us. And it almost is like we're engaging with each other in a different way. It's like Twitter, but it's a different form, you know what I mean? And so that vulnerability that comes with just putting it on paper anonymously is just really moving, and I am so grateful to the folks who participate. When I started the project, I was finishing my 4th year at UVA, and I remember seeing the election results and feeling just totally devastated. And I was looking for some sort of space for us to just talk. And I found that a lot of Black and brown students at UVA were creating these meetings through the Office of African American Affairs or these different student groups. And we would come together and just talk about our feelings, about our experiences. And I felt like those conversations were so powerful. A lot of us were feeling the same things. We had been experiencing a lot of the same things. Leading up to the election results, there were a lot of instances happening on grounds. There was a case of 2 girls being chased back to their dorm room by white students. There were swastikas being painted on dorms and racial slurs being painted on dorms. And we were all feeling very unsafe on grounds, and to have that space to just sit and talk about it and feel safe to talk about it was just so needed. I felt like we needed to be having more of these conversations. I felt like we needed to be finding ways to bring them to more people, these conversations to more people. And so I was inspired by artist Monica Meyer, who did El Tendedero, which is a similar platform. She had prompts in an art gallery, and she asked the audience to just write down about their experiences. And I was like, this is the perfect way to capture these amazing conversations. I just put my own little spin on it, you know? And I went to my dorm and grabbed a bunch of index cards, because that's what I had, and I started going to my classrooms. I started going to all of these different meetings and asking my classmates after class, like, would you mind just writing down how you're feeling right now? And they were ready and were so willing to just hop right into it. And my professors started to hear about what I was doing, and they would invite me to their other classrooms. Even after graduating, they would invite me back to present the project and get the ideas of these amazing students. And it was kind of surprising that people were so open to just like putting these different thoughts on paper in this way. But I feel like, you know, we all kind of want to be heard. We need a space to express ourselves, especially now. Like, the energy is the same. A lot of the time it's expressing fear, expressing uncertainty, expressing this desire for change, right? This hope for the future. And I think a lot of us, you know, we sometimes don't have those spaces to express ourselves in that way. And so I love that we can take a moment to just be reflective through the cards. And I had my first exhibit at the Bridge. Shout out to Alan, whoop whoop. Had my first exhibit at the Bridge, and that was an amazing experience. I created a space for folks at the exhibit to just like write down their thoughts after viewing all of the cards, and I'm just so moved. Like, sometimes I'm sitting and flipping through the cards and I'm like crying because I can't believe how open people are being with their experiences. I've had folks who expressed, you know, concerns about being able to leave the country, or folks who talked about being attacked, folks who talked about not being able to come out to their families, feeling unsafe to do that. And so, like, I'm just moved so much. So I did put cards under your chairs. So after our talk, please feel free to leave your own thoughts and add to the project. I now am in a space where I want to try to do something else with the cards. I feel like a lot of them are little snapshots of where we are right now in time, you know, and I want to try to preserve them. So I was thinking of doing a book project of like a coffee table book, and to kind of do something more than hanging them up and be able to share this project with more people. So I did create like a crowdfunding page for that, and Lance is going to share that later, so keep an eye out for that. But I feel like words are really powerful, and I think that it's important to remember the power in your voice. Although my work centers on amplifying the voices of marginalized people, I also want to amplify the voices of our allies and the people who are doing amazing work to create change in our communities, you know, and they're in the different ways. It works from artists who are using their platforms to challenge difficult issues or to address difficult issues. It's educators, it's people in the community. I've gotten responses from veterans, from all kinds of people, and all of our voices are so important in this time, and we're all doing work in different ways to move the needle forward, right? So I would like to invite you to take a moment to fill out your card if you'd like, and when you're done, I think that we could hang them up and just have a moment. Whatever you are feeling, you can put it down on paper. If you have an experience that you'd like to share with the project, if you have any words of encouragement or hope, whatever you're feeling right now, you can put it on paper. So Cordell's question was, are a lot of the responses based on August 11th and 12th? And the answer is no. Like, some people are just talking about the things that they've been experiencing long before, because racism is not a new thing. And so a lot of people are sharing their experiences from before. Some people are sharing things about things with their families. Like, it kind of goes to whatever you want to put into it. I mean, a lot of it is centered around that, but people kind of take it in whatever direction they want to take it, you know? So as people are finishing, I noticed that when I get cards, some people they're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to write, but what I'm feeling right now is this, 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 and this, this, this. And I'm like, put it on the card. That's what we need. And then, you know, it starts real slow, and they're like, I don't know. And then they're like, So it's pretty cool. I love it. I think let's go ahead and just pass them this way to the person on the end. Thank you so much for sharing and for contributing to the please, yes. Y'all give it up for Emma, just putting in work. Yes, girl. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Ooh, listen to Black women, first of all. Yes. Yes. I love that. I'm so excited to read these. Thank y'all so much. I'm not sure. I guess it's familiar, right? Like, we have it from school. We know, like, that this is something that we're supposed to, you know, put something on, right? Something for us, something to be remembered, right? And I think that, you know, you can do a lot with it. I've seen some folks just like draw on it, like this one. This one is from the Signs of Change workshop, and someone drew an image of Vinegar Hill. Where have I gone with the project? Some of the other places. So I have, the Women's March, Afro-Punk Atlanta, the Virginia Film Festival, city council meetings, lots of different community talks, the Healing Through Art and Community event at the Jefferson School, in which Candy Chang was there, and that was so cool. And I've also collected responses after August 11th and 12th. So directly after the events of August 12th, and then I also was going to community events right after, and so all of those feelings are very raw. Like, some of those are actually strung up on the string with the red clip, so you can read some of those. Yes, that's it. And I'm always collecting them. I'll ask clients and different people that I'm just around. I'm like, hey, would you like to participate in this? And I think now I have like 400 some cards. Yeah, I think that comes from like our conversations that we're having, right? Like, we're in the room with a lot of amazing people who are doing a lot of different things, and I find that, you know, people can put these fears, concerns, uncertainty on, and then when we're together having these conversations, it's like, oh, we're gonna be all right. Like, there are amazing people doing amazing work, you know what I mean? And even at UVA, when we were having those talks right after the election results, there were students who changed their entire majors based on what was happening around us politically, and that made me feel like we're gonna be good, you know what I mean? Because we have these brilliant people who were in biology or pre-med, and they're like, no, I'm pursuing politics. Like, I'm changing my major, you know? And so that was, for me, very much so like, okay, there's this shift happening around us, you know? And we're all doing our work in different ways, you know? And so if you actually would like to follow the project, I do have an Instagram account for it. It's at Solidarity Cards Project. And I have a lot of like things from when I would go to UVA classrooms to present and different things like that. So please do check it out. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I post real good selfies. So at Hello Destinee Wright. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.